G'day everyone. Hands up who thought this would actually be an interesting video. Right, you can't see me sticking my hands up. Well, this is what's left of that universal joint, stupid lens cap, of the tail shaft from the EV. It is dust. All the crap here, I can hold the camera still. Focus. Right, that's what's left of the rollers. Like, the powder isn't actually grease, the powder is what's left of some of the rollers. Now, these things should have, I know someone's going to correct me because it always happens, I think about 16 rollers to a bearing cap. I'm not going to count them or Google them, so you'll just have to take my rough estimate. I counted 5 out of one of the bearing caps. This cap here, I counted 5 rollers. Well, anyway, this is the seal, right? There is nothing left of the seal. It is rooted. That's how the water got in. This is the cross piece, okay? There's nothing left of the cross piece. Now that one that's dark, I sprayed silicone spray on it to try and, because I had a hell of a time getting the cross piece out. Now the 2 caps that are left, they're not seized. They're actually perfect, textbook. Right, well that's what's left of it. Now if you actually look in this bearing cap, the shiny stuff at the bottom is not grease. It is molten metal from the rollers. Like, what I'm saying is that the shit in the bottom of this cap is what's left of the bearing rollers. Alright, now this thing got really, really hot. I mean, these rollers are powder. Like, and the ones that aren't powder actually aren't even straight. They are bent. So this one here, that's what's left of the inside of it. Like, if you look in the bottom of this cap, all that crap, that's metal. That's not grease, that is actual metal. I mean, that's how hot it got. It liquefied. It liquefied the rollers, and that's the crap in the bottom that used to be rollers. Like, what came out of this, I'm not going to touch it because I did just wash my hands. See, the rollers are in pieces. Like, see the little pieces of rollers? The big pieces, that's what they're supposed to look like. Now some of the pieces there are less than 1 mil long, or they're like, you know, maybe even 2 mil long. That's what happened to this universal joint. Now, as it says in one of the comments, normally these things just become really loose, but this thing didn't do that. This thing seized completely solid. Now, this had all the makings of just absolutely falling apart. It was completely locked solid. It had no grease left in it. It was full of rust. The rollers must have just about been red hot. I mean, I don't actually think it's damaged the... sorry about the camera shaking. The mosquito was biting me. I don't actually think it damaged the tail shaft itself. So I think we escaped fairly well by the skin of our teeth. If you look at the outside of that and get it to focus, you know, it still looks alright. It hasn't really been turning in the housing. It's still got the machining marks on it, and this one's the same. But the rollers, they are trash. I mean, I've never seen one completely seized like that. Now, it's covered in silicone spray and stuff. Not much light, so I mean, it's dirty from all the powder, and I'm gonna have to clean it up. And I'm eating alive here. I'm gonna have to clean it up and make sure it's okay. But yeah, it's on the cards that this thing will be fine, because the caps were tight in the tail shaft. They weren't loose. They weren't flopping around. And the yoke looks like it's probably fine. I mean, like I said, you can't really tell with all the rust and shit, but looking at the other one there, it looks just about perfect. So all I'm going to do is just clean it up and make sure there isn't any fractures through it. I don't think there are, and I think if there were, the caps would have been easier to get out. They would have been loose. They weren't loose, they were tight. Both of them were tight. So yeah, that's what's left of the universal joint. If it was greasable, it probably would have been okay, but The only reason it's not okay is because the seal's failed, and very epically, like, there's nothing left of the seals. Like, this seal, this is just how it came out. So I'm still getting eaten alive. Damn mosquito. See if I can hold that camera still. Zoom out a bit, it might focus up. And that seal, that's what's left of the grease seal, that little piece of crap. You have to get a bug zapper. Somebody draw me a high voltage power supply for my bug zapper, because the transformer shit the secondary and I'm getting eaten alive. Anyway, damn thing. That's what's left of the grease seal. There's nothing left of it. That's where the water got in. No grease nipple, and there's no broken off stub of a grease nipple, so that, I would say, not being greasable is pretty much how it failed. Interestingly though, it does look like it's had the, you know, they just haven't drilled one. I don't know why, but this is going to require further inspection, but I'm 90% sure it's never had a grease nipple. The back one does, which is strange that the front one doesn't, but anyway, we'll just press it back together with a new UJ, and I'm pretty sure this tail shaft will be fine. Thanks for watching.